Right. Hey guys, welcome back to some crypto. It is February 14th, 2024, just about like a 10:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in today's content now, we'll talk about BTC once again on a macro basis, and what type of price action we could be looking for over the next like a few month, let's say over the next like a 6 to 12 month, or like a even 12 to 18 month, right, throughout the rest of the 4 year cycle and all that good stuff, right? So let me make sure the sound is good before we dive into the macro analysis. It is going to be a quick one again, right? I'm not going to hold you guys for another for a for a very long live stream and all that good stuff, right? So let me know if the sound is good so we can dive into the analysis. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Mr. Shu. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Quiet Cook, cooking some good stuff, okay? Cooking some good stuff before the halving, right? Flushing all the USDT down the drain. All right. So guys, hit the likes, right, and make sure to share the live stream if you find it useful, right, and you're learning anything out of the content. Just share it, right? Your cousin might be buying some BTC, or even grandma might decide to buy some BTC before the bull market peak, right? So now we're going to start off with the with the 3 month time frame, because the 3 month time frame, it is a very important time frame, just like the monthly time frame, right? So what we've been saying over the last few quarters, since like we broke out nearly over 72% in Q1 2023, we said that was the beginning of wave one based on Elliott wave, right? That was the beginning of wave one, and we could get our wave two sometime in the second half of 2023, and then after that we will basically start of the wave 3 to the upside, right? So you can see like the wave 2 on a macro basis, if you're only trading like on the hourly 15 minutes chart, 10-second charts and all that good stuff, you're not going to be able to see these big macro breakouts, right? And if you notice, well, over the last 6 to, I would say like a 12 to a 18 months, we've been focusing on the macro basis, right? A lot, okay? Even though we've been talking about the lower degree, 90% of my my updates recently been on the macro basis, right? So you can see 6 months of 6 month consolidation, and now breaking out above a very key important level, okay? The 45k. I know we at 52k and all that good stuff, right? But if you guys recall, after we took out what the monthly 21 EMA, we'll go down on the lower degree later on, okay? After we took out the monthly 21 EMA, we said our next pivot resistance, right? Even though we got 35, 37, for 39, 41k and all that good stuff, but the biggest macro resistance, okay, the biggest macro resistance, right, it was the 45.5 up to 46.5. So if you've been watching our channel long enough, you know that, okay? So if the quarterly can close above 45.5 up to 46.5k area, that'll be a great okay news for the bulls, and the pain could basically continue for the bears, okay? The bears could be feeling the absolute pain, okay, over the next like 9 to 12 months, okay? Or it could even be longer if we do not deviate from our 4-year cycle basis, right? Meaning like we're expecting a 3-year bull market from the bottom right here, November 2022. The peak was November 2021, right? So we're expecting a 3-year bull market, right? So 3 years, it is a very long time to be staying on the sidelines, right, and waiting for BTC to break out to 100%, and you're still waiting for another retest, right? So 3 years from the November 2022 bottom right here, it'll take us all the way up to November 2025, Leroy, right? That'll give us our 36-month bull market we discussed long time ago, right? 12-month bear market, 36-month bull market, and get in 18 months, right, before the halving, and get out, let's say 12 to 18 months after the halving. So these little details, okay, If you basically only trade BTC on the daily and lower, or even weekly and lower, you're not going to be able to catch those 6-month bull trend, 3-month bull trend, and all that good stuff. Okay, so if we go back, if we just recap the quarterly basis, it looks really good. A close above 52, this quarter, whoa, that could basically imply like BTC could be, could be even breaking above all-time high before the halving, right? Because we've been saying like the quarterly resistance, right, was what, 45, right? However, take a look at the 6-month resistance, right? The 6-month resistance, is basically similar to the quarterly resistance, right? At 45, right? 45K up to 46K, give or take, right? Right here, right? So if we close, okay, the 6-month cycle, let's say before end of May, we close above 45.5, right? That could, that could mean like, the 4-year cycle is still the same, right? It won't basically, imply a lot, because, closing above 45.5, just about like a 52K area before end of June and all that good stuff, right? It's not going to be a big deal if we just close above, just around like a 52. It's not going to be a big deal. However, if we close somewhere around like a 63, right? Let's say 65, right? Or even 70K, I just don't see, right, how people are going to be bearish and be waiting for like a 10K, 3K, 5K, and all that good stuff. Okay, so, and if you take a look at the average of our last 2 6-month bullish candles, right, Q1 2023 pumped 84%, and you got Q2, right, 2023, it pumped what, 38%, right? So let's do the math for Leroy, right? So let's say we got 84 plus 38, right? So you divide it by 2, you get 61. Okay, so let's just assume, right, in this Q1 and Q2 2024, right, the first half of 2024, we could get a 60% breakout, right? On average, it could be high or low, right? That would take us just about like a 67K to 68K area within the next, like, let's say 4 months. Okay. However, you could be saying like, oh, we're not going to break out, above 52K and all that good stuff. But what is the likelihood, right, of BTC? What is the likelihood of BTC, okay, taking out the last 6 month open around like a 30K, right? It will basically change everything. It will change everything, right? But we will see. Since like the trend, it is still up, I'm still giving bulls, right, the higher probability of continuing the trend, and could even possibly break out above all-time high before before Q3 2024 and all that good stuff, right? But if everything stays the same, right, I would expect, okay, all-time high sometime in September, October, or even November, depending on the volatility, right? But if we deviate positively, right, from the 4-year cycle, we could take out all-time high even before April, right? So something to basically keep in mind, right? So as of now, it really doesn't matter in terms of time. The best thing to do is just, stay with the price structure and not try to time the market whether BTC will break above like all-time high in April, or BTC will break out above all-time high in October. It really doesn't matter, because the most important thing was like to buy BTC 18 months ago. That's why I was urging most of you guys, if you've been following our channel and didn't follow, basically, you can still follow the bears. It is always good to follow bears, right? Because they just bears, okay? It is good to follow bears to get different perspective, right? So if you've been following the bears right around like a 15K, they were saying like, oh, 14K, 12K, and all that good stuff. And I was saying, guys, it really won't make a big difference, right? Because our target could be above, 100K. So you're waiting for like a, let's say 14K, 13K when BTC was at 15K. It was only like a 10 to 15% drop you're waiting for. And you miss out like another let's say you miss out like a 200, 300, 400% rally, okay, on BTC, and could miss out like on alt like a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x over the next like over the following 12 to 36 months, right? So something to keep in mind. Okay, now let's take a look at the 4-year cycle, because not the 4-year but the 4-month cycle, right? So the 4-month cycle, okay, we don't talk about the 4-month cycle a lot, right? But you really take a look at it. So if you take a look at it how clean, right, the 4-month cycle is. Okay, so we were bearish right here. If you guys recall, after the 3-month cycle basically closed like that, we said, even before the close, right, we said it's not going to close it's not going to close bearish, right? Because it'll imply like the bull market is over and people will be panicking, right? So that's why I was saying I just wait for the for the cycle to close and all that good stuff. And basically it closed around like a 45, something like that. Okay, but take a look at the 4-month cycle. Okay, in terms of Elliott wave, it looks really, really good, right? So you got your wave 1, your wave 2 correction right here, and now you're getting another wave 3, right? And we're expecting what? Our wave 3 to be 1.618 extension of our wave 1. It could be higher, but I'm just just using the general rule, okay? Just like what we did right here back in 2020. So 1.618 extension will take us somewhere around like a 80K right here, okay? Once again, it is the 4-month, right? 3 to 4 or even 6-month cycle. So I'm not saying like BTC will go straight up to 80K, okay? All I'm saying is on the within the next like a 3 to 6 or even 9 months, right? It could pump all the way up to 80K if the 4-month cycle structure stays intact and doesn't change, meaning that we won't get any bearish 4-month cycle or like a 3-month cycle, right? The first month right here, the wave 1, we pumped 76. The first wave of wave 3, we pumped 63. So this is basically, you could say like wave 2, right? We didn't have any bearish cycle right here. So we're still in wave 3, okay, of the impulsiveness, okay? So we'll see if we're going to get an average of these two, right? You got 76 plus 63, right? So you get about like a 70% breakout for this 4-month cycle, and 70% breakout, right, from the candle open, right, will take us about 72%, and we just talked about 67%, okay, when we were talking about the 6-month cycle and all that good stuff. If you want to take it from the low, right, it will be somewhere around like a 67. So basically matching the 6-month cycle structure, okay, and a directional trend and all that good stuff. Okay, so I know the bear market was brutal, right? You can see, like, you can clearly see it on the on the 4-month cycle. Okay, we had like a 5 bearish, okay, 4-month cycle. So it was kind of brutal. However, if you follow our, if you've been following our channel long enough throughout the bear market, we stayed bearish, okay? Somewhere around like, started somewhere around like a mid-50s, all the way down to like a 20K to 15K area. And we said on a quarterly basis, you just have to accumulate at the quarterly 21 EMA plus minus 10%. Because back then, the quarterly 21 EMA was around like, I think 20K, something like that. So we said like a, plus minus 10%, right? So, and you can see like we didn't basically open and close a quarterly cycle below the quarterly 21 EMA, at least on Binance, right? So it looks really, really good, on the macro basis. And now if we basically switch lower on a monthly basis, right? So on a monthly basis, nothing new, okay? We've been talking about like how the monthly 21 EMA going to play out a crucial role, right, before the next leg up, right? We discussed it right here when BTC was being accumulated, right? Remember, back in August 2022, right? Back in August 2022, what we said. Remember, I was bearish right here around 23 to 24K, and we said we're going to be retesting the bottom, right? And we could be looking for 17, 18K area. However, if you're trading BTC on a macro basis, like over the next 12, 18, 2 years time frame, you don't worry, okay? You shouldn't worry. You just accumulate the double bottom right here, and anything lower could be just a bonus. And then after that, you look for a bull market reversal pattern to the upside, right? So you can see right here, the monthly 2-1 EMA got retested, consolidated. I just showed you on the 4-month time frame, right? It looks better when when you take a look at it on the 4-month time frame, right? Right there. Right? So that was our basically accumulation zone 4 to 5 month, and basically we just broke out to the upside. So now the monthly 21 EMA is around like a 33K, right? So, and as I said, right, BTC doesn't usually retest its monthly 21 EMA until it basically starts to basically reverse. Okay, whenever you retest your monthly 21 EMA, just know like you're in a bear market. Okay, based on the previous bull market and bear market structure. So I don't see us, right, retesting as of now. I don't see us, retesting the monthly 21 EMA anytime soon if we just use our previous bull market as a template. Okay, so regarding the MACD, the MACD, I said it back in August. Okay, when the MACD was bearish right here, and I remember Pablo Escripto was saying like, okay, the MACD is extremely bearish, we will dump down to 3K, 5K. I think that was Pablo. I could be wrong. Okay, if I'm wrong, Pablo, sorry. Okay, and what I was saying was like, when it comes to the MACD, okay, it tends to give you some some bad signals, okay, if you just don't know how to use it, right? So, and I was saying, don't wait for the MACD to cross positive, because by the time the MACD crosses positive, we will be back above our monthly 21 EMA. So the best thing to do always in a bear market, it is something like you just have to remember, in a bear market, right, whenever BTC drops 30, 40, 50% below its monthly 21 EMA, it won't be time to be looking for lower prices, even though it can drop lower. But the probability of BTC reversing after dropping 40 to 50% below its monthly 21 EMA is absolutely high. And we discussed it, guys. It is not something like I'm just telling you right now by looking back. I said it right here, right? Back in February, March, April, what was our target? We were looking for like a, BTC to drop like down to 25K, right? 25, 26K and all that good stuff. It pumped back up to 32. We said our target all the way down to like a, 21K plus minus 10%, right? Because we were expecting, as soon as BTC closed below the monthly 21 EMA, we were expecting a 50% drop. And we had that 50% drop. We got that 50% drop, okay? And now everyone is looking for what? A 72%, 80%, 90%, 95%, and all that good stuff. Good luck with that, okay? Good luck with that. Good luck with that, right? So, if we just, take a look at it in terms of indicators, the best indicator to use on a monthly basis, at least for me and my premium group, we talked about it back in August 2022. That's when we started to do what? The monthly update for BTC. Because I was getting ready for what? The bull market. And I started, started to talk about the monthly time frame. Every single month, the first of every single month, we review the monthly time frame, talk about the quarterly, the yearly, and all that good stuff. So we said, you take a look at the RSI. Whenever BTC RSI is somewhere around like a 43, right, on a monthly basis, right, you tend to bottom, right? 43 right here. Back in 2018, we bottomed, okay? 43 right here. Back in 2015, what happened? We bottomed. So I was like, nothing is, nothing is showing us like BTC will stay down forever. Okay, when BTC was around like a 20K to a 15K area. Okay, so on a monthly basis, just have to be patient, and at the same time, be cautious with these nonsense divergences on a monthly basis, because once we take out all-time high, all the bears will come out and they're going to be like, oh, take a look at it, this is going to be a bearish divergence, right? And BTC is going to be like that. Let's take a look at it right here. Okay, BTC will do something like that. Let's okay, let's say we break out above all-time high, okay, and pump all the way up to a you know, let's say 80k to be moderate, right? So we will print another high higher than the previous bull market pick, right? And the RSI, it won't basically print, the likelihood of the RSI printing another high as soon as we break out above all-time highs, right, going to be very low. Okay, so I wouldn't expect the RSI to print a new high right away, right? So, but don't fall for it. Don't fall for it, because RSI could basically consolidate once we hit the resistance, possibly, right? It could consolidate for a couple of months and then just break out. Okay. However, the bears will be what? We'll be saying like it is a macro bearish divergence, and then we're going to be dumping low. Okay. And you can clearly see it on a quarterly basis, right? It looks better on a quarterly basis, as we discussed, right, in my previous live stream. What I said on a quarterly basis, like once we take out 69, 70k, we will probably print a bearish divergence on our quarterly basis, right? However, it will be normal because the quarterly time frame moves very slow. It takes like 3 months, Leroy, okay, to close a quarterly cycle. So if we retest anywhere around like, you know, above all-time high and print a bearish divergence, right, I would just be cautious, okay, to be, you know, to be flipping bearish, and just wait for like a 3 to 6 month, okay, before, you know, completely saying like, okay, it is a reversal pattern, and then we could be looking for the quarterly 21 EMA again, okay, potentially, okay, depending on the overall structure. But everything looks good. And don't fall for the you know, macro, another macro distribution and all that good stuff, because as soon as we hit 69, 70k, I'm telling you, as soon as we hit 69, 70k, bear is gonna be coming out and print something like that, right? Because we talk about it, guys. We talk about it when BTC was at 20k. It's not like I'm just starting to draw these patterns and, you know, anticipating these moves. Right? We talked about it 18 months ago, okay? Back in August 2022. Once we hit 69, 70k, bears will come out and say, okay, you know, take a look at the S&P 500, right? Let's take a look at the S&P. Okay, so let's take a look at the S&P 500 right here. So as soon as we hit all-time high, right, they're going to look for something to you know, to shout about and say, okay, the S&P 500, blah blah blah. You know, even if you take a look at it on a quarterly basis, yes, it was a bearish divergence. However, you know, the S&P 500 dumped a lot below the quarterly 21 EMA. Okay, unlike BTC. So wouldn't fall for it. Just be ready for these type of bearish scenarios from the bears, not from me, but we'll see how it goes and all that good stuff. Okay, so now another time frame to keep an eye on for BTC is like the 50-day cycle, right? So the 50-day cycle looks really good, right? So, you know, the cycle will close in like 4 days, I think. The 20th in like 6 days, right? So I just don't see for myself, okay, I just don't see bears, okay, wiping out the entire 50-day cycle within the next 5 days. Anything is possible, but I don't see us wiping out, you know, the 50-day cycle. And I discussed it in my premium right here when before the 50-day cycles, before the 50-day cycle broke out above like a 30k, right? We said as soon as we take out 32 on the 50-day cycle, we'll basically just do it the same way we did it back in 2020 right here. As soon as we took out the resistance right here on the 50-day cycle, because not many people, I haven't seen anyone talk about BTC, you know, 50-day cycle, okay? So, you know, back in 2020, one of the reasons why we basically flipped bullish right here in Q4 was like we said, as soon as we take out the, you know, 10.5, right, before October 26th or October 27th, 2020, right? If we take out that level of 10.5, we will basically just blast off past, you know, all-time high. So you take a look at it right here, similarly, all right, consolidated for like a 4 month, broke out above it, 32, altcoin recognized the BTC momentum, right, and the strength. The altcoin started to break out. So we anticipated the altcoin pump, right, you know, sometime in late October, you know, the 3rd week of October, right? We started basically saying, hey guys, it is Q4 2023. BTC broke out above 32. It's now time to load up on alt, because we could be bullish for the next 18 months for alt, right? Remember the 18-month cycle. 18 months before the 4-year cycle, accumulate BTC, right? 12 months, right, after you accumulated BTC, start accumulating alt, right? And be like, you know, let's say 50-50 alt, okay? You don't want to be 100% alt until BTC breaks out above all-time high, something like that, okay? Not 100%, but, you know, increase exposure possibly up to 80% alt once we take out all-time high. Because some of these alt, they won't basically they will not break out until BTC at least, okay, hits like, let's say 80 to 100K. And you might be like, so some of these alt will be just staying sideways. Yes, you take a look at what happened right here. Most of these alt, they did not break out until BTC broke out above 19 point something, okay, 19.5 and all that good stuff. And you go back and take a look at any of these charts, right? You can see exactly what I'm saying. That's why I was saying throughout the bear market right here, the best thing to do is like to stay heavy in BTC, right? 75% BTC, 25% alt, or 75% BTC, 15% Ether, and then 10% alt, stuff like that, okay? You do it however you like it. But the concept was like to be heavy in BTC, right? Until basically Q4 2023, then be like 50-50, right? And then once BTC breaks out above all-time high, you could be like 75% alt, because alt will basically control the market once BTC breaks out above all-time high. BTC will not go another 10x above 60K. Okay, what is the likelihood in this cycle for BTC to go, you know, above like a, you know, to go like, let's say 500% above the previous all-time high, around 300K, 350K? It's not high. It is not that high. I would say probably 10%. Okay, but what is the likelihood for, you know, a 100 million altcoin or 100 million market cap altcoin to go like a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x once BTC breaks out above all-time high? The likelihood is very high. Okay, that is the concept behind like waiting for BTC to break out above all-time high before being extremely you know, heavy on alt. Okay, but 50-50, even as of now, 50-50, you know, if your alt is not moving, you know, chop off some profits, not financial advice, and accumulate, chop off some profit from BTC and basically add on to your alt while basically that alt is not moving. But if you go back to the 50-day cycle, it looks really good. It looks really good. We will get a new cycle on the 20th, right? This month, February 2024, Leroy, right? So it looks really good, okay? The 3-week cycle looks good, okay? I was a bit, you know, I didn't like the 3-week cycle right here, but, you know, the momentum basically picked back up. So we got a new 3-week cycle, and the next cycle, we will get it on March 4th. So basically from now on until basically March 4th, going to be super critical, okay? But everything looks good. Everything looks good, right? If we want to decipher it in terms of like a wave analysis, now we got a clear wave, potential wave 2 of what? Wave 3 of wave 3. Okay, so you take a look at it right here. This was our wave 1. That's our wave 2, right? This is wave 1 of 3, right? Wave 2 of 3, and then we could be getting wave 3, right, of 3. which is going to be super bullish, wave 4 and wave 5. Okay, so remember, we have already discussed, right, the 1.618 extension of wave 1, okay, for wave 3, right? So now we could even get another 1-to-1 up to 1-to-1 up to 1.618 extension of wave 1 of wave 3, right? Right here, 1-to-1 extension will take us somewhere around like 80% also, right? So not 80%, Leroy, 80K. So that 80K mark, right, will be super important. Remember, BTC doesn't have to respect it. It doesn't have to respect. I'm just going to give you a quick example, okay? If you recall back in 2020, what we said after the 50-day cycle closed, okay, above 10.5, right there, right? What we said was like, we will get 1.618 extension of our wave 1. Wave 1, wave 2, and then we were looking for 1.618 extension around like a 44K to be exact. And if you use your fibs, you can see swing low, up to swing high, down to swing low, right? 1.618 extension, bang, 44K. And then we got rejected right there, right? Back in January 2021, right? So it didn't quite, okay, respected on the dot, but you get the concept, right? You cannot see it on a 3 weeks basis, but if you take a look at it on a weekly basis, that was the rejection right here. So it didn't quite hit 44, but it hit like I think 42, okay? And then we got that, you know, 2 weeks correction, and Elon Musk came out and said something about Dogecoin, whatever he said, and then basically market pumped. All right. So, and another thing, okay, now let's just dive in on, you know, let's dive in on a weekly basis. Okay, so on a weekly basis, one thing to you know, keep an eye on is like bears. Okay, in a bull market, they will look for any type of or sort of like a bearish argument to say, okay, we're going to dump, right? And what I just said in my premium just about like 12 hours ago, I was like, don't fall for this bearishness. And as you can see, it is already breaking out. Okay, it is not printing any bearish divergence yet. Okay, why? Because the candle hasn't closed yet. And at the same time, if you take a look at the total market cap, right, the total market cap is not printing any divergence. And once again, the total market cap dictates the overall trend, especially in a bull market, okay, or in a very impulsive move. Okay, you want to follow what the total market cap, okay, even if you don't follow it, you want to pay attention to it, right? So it is not printing anything in terms of like a bearishness. All right, you take a look at the BTC dominance, it is still looking super bullish. You take a look at the 3D basis, if it crosses positive, right, it could means like BTC could break out easily above 58K, okay, if this guy basically crossed positive, right, on a weekly basis. On a 3D, it looks good. It is telling me BTC could potentially pump all the way up to 57%. As you can see, the MACD, right, is clearly positive. And remember, we were following what, the 2D MACD, not even the 3D MACD when it comes to the you know, when it comes to the you know, the Bitcoin dominance, and it crossed positive when about like you know, 2 weeks ago. So it looks really good, even though it is still in sideways-ish range. If it breaks out above 55, you know, could easily pump all the way up to 57, 58%, until we get another, you know, daily crossover and alt daily negative crossover, or even 12-hour negative crossover, and then alt could start to basically even pump a lot. Okay, and if we switch a little bit on PAX GBTC, we talk about it, right? In my previous update, right, I said, you know, the PAX GBTC could dump like 20%. If the PAX GBTC going to dump 20%, it means like BTC will pump 20%, assuming gold will basically stays, right? Gold will stay the same, okay, and not break out, you know, above 2000 and all that good stuff, right? So So keep an eye on the PAX GBTC. If you're basically going in and out between PAX GBTC and BTC, if you don't want to basically sell into USDT or USDC, you can always basically sell into PAX GBTC. Okay, all right. So we'll talk about the PAX GBTC later on, right? In another live stream. So another important chart is like the USDT dominance. Okay, it hasn't yet, okay, in the past at least, okay, hasn't retested the quarterly 21 EMA. So we'll see. We're looking for that 4.8, 4.5% support area, right? This level, just about this range. So we'll see if we're going to be retesting it, right? This area of 4.5, 4.8, give or take, okay, and find a temporary support. But clearly on a quarterly basis, it looks like a clear new trend. On a monthly basis, it looks really, really good. Monthly MACD printed a negative divergence right here. RSI basically printed a negative divergence, and we caught it at the top. It's not like we just started to talk about the USDT dominance. Yes, Leroy pointed it out, right, back in 2022. I think it was like back in August, right? September, August, give or take. And I was like, the resistance going to be up to 9%. And we hit that 9%. And in January 2023, that's when I really said this guy could be going much, much lower. But it moves very, very slow. So it is not something you want to be watching every day. You just want to catch the trend. Okay? The big trend, not the 1%. Or even like a 0.5% on the USDT dominance. Okay, you want to catch those, let's say this type of moves. Okay, 30% drop. Okay, from like a 8% all the way down to like a 4.8%. Right, and you can see BTC pump from 25k, now it is above 50k, 100% move. Right, and this guy dumped like a 35%. Right. So if it is going to dump another, let's say 20%, right, down to a 3.8%, it potentially means like BTC could pump another, 40% at the bare minimum, right? So now let's take a look at the total 2. So total 2 looks really, really, really good, guys. So, we talk about it. I don't think many people analyze the total 2 in depth and do not pay attention to it. They only pay attention to like the individual alt. Yes, your alt might be boring, but the rest of the crypto might be doing great. So you just don't want to basically just focus on like XRP or Dogecoin or Litecoin or Solana and all that good stuff, and then just ignore the overall total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. Okay, total 2, right? So it looks really, really, really good. Right, so, and if we take a look at our monthly 20 SMA, now it is above, okay, it is below the 21 EMA. Right here, we flip bearish, really, really bearish. Okay, even before we crossed negative right here, we were bearish right here because of BTC closing below the monthly 21 EMA when back in April 2022. Right here, you can see like BTC, as soon as we close below, you can go back on my channel and check it out. Okay, the month of May, as soon as BTC closed below the monthly 21 EMA back in April 2022, what we said was like we're going to drop a lot. You can go back and check any of my videos back then, and any of my alt analysis, right? So it dumped hard. So if we go back and take a look at total 2, it looks really, really good. Even though, right, the BTC dominance is pretty strong, right? It doesn't mean like we won't be getting like higher highs, right, and higher lows in terms of like a total 2. Okay, so the next level of resistance for the total 2, let's take a look at it on the weekly. So it is going to be at 0.618, around 1 trillion, and the next level after that it is going to be at 1.25. But it is kind of critical, right? I'm still myself, okay, a little bit confused, right? Why? Because if I take a look at alt, right, the USDT dominance is, is extremely bullish, right? We all know that, okay? But sucker can dump at any given time, right? So you don't want to rely on it 100% and be like, 100% into BTC, right? However, the total too is extremely bullish at the same time. So you got the USDT dominance, the BTC dominance, excuse me, okay, could pump to 57. However, your total too could also pump a lot. So what does it mean? Okay, it simply means BTC is extremely bullish, right? Because if I take a look at an alt, let's say we take a look at a random alt. Okay, let's take a look at, let's say dot BTC. Let's take a look at dot USDT first. Okay, so you can understand what I'm saying, right? So dot USDT is bullish, okay, on a weekly basis, right? Remember we talked about like how dot going to pump up to like a 9 to 9.5%, right? And we talked about it in my premium back in October, right, when dot was right around like a $4, right? So you can see like dot is bullish, okay? You can even see it on a 3D basis. Wedge pattern back above the 3D 21. Yes, MACD is not positive yet, but we could be expecting the MACD to be positive if the total too going to be, pushing up to like a 1.2 trillion, right? Something like that, okay? 1 trillion, let's say 1 trillion, right? So dot is potentially going to be retesting the 2023 highs around like a $9, give or take 9 to 9.5, right? But the thing is, like, if we take a look at dot BTC, it is not that extremely bullish, okay? Even though it is in a wedge pattern, it has to trigger the breakout, at least has to break out like a 5% up to like a 1550, so 15,500 range, right? 5 to 6%, just to break out the wedge pattern resistance right here, right? And it is not guaranteed, right? It will. Okay, a couple of alt already did, right? Like a V-chain, right? Printed the same pattern right here, and then it's pushing back up, looking to retest the January 2024 highs right here. We will take a look at the V-chain, okay? So, and on the monthly basis, right? If you take a look at it on the monthly basis, it really doesn't look like, right? Dot will go back up, okay? Will pump 20% on a monthly basis, okay? It really doesn't look like it as of now. It looks like it will be retesting the 12,000 to 14,000. It might not do it this month, but it could basically do it in the next few months, okay? However, still, we still have to respect, right, the wedge pattern, but don't be surprised, right, if it doesn't break out 5%, 7% to take out the wedge pattern. But if it does, it means like we could start to speculate dot BTC going up another let's say 16 to 20% after that. Okay, so that's why I'm saying like alt BTC, they're not looking that good, right? But alt USD, they're looking really good. So how can alt USD pump when alt BTC are bearish? It means like BTC has to carry the weight, right? And basically pump a lot. Right? So let's take a look at another example, right? Let's take a look at Tether. These are just examples, okay? I'm not saying like to go buy or sell any of this, okay? So you take a look at Tether, right? Looking very good. Wedge pattern, right? On the 2D, got a bullish crossover, right? So even though you could say, oh, the trend line resistance, blah blah blah, yes, but it is in a wedge pattern. Let's remove this sucker right here, right? Price action above the daily 21. All the moving averages are looking to cross positive, just like October. In October also we traded it, in our premium. We said time to accumulate both short-term and macro, and we were looking for this 80% move all the way up to 120 and all that good stuff. It came back down, retested the weekly 21, printed a beautiful wedge pattern just like ADA. So looking pretty good. It is not basically a bull divergence right here, but it looks good. You did have a bull divergence right there. Even though I don't like these type of bull divergences, it was a bull divergence right here. So if everything looks great, right, it could be pumping all the way up to a 1.4 right here. However, if we take a look at Tether BTC, you know, it is printing the same pattern as what? DOT and then VChain. So it means this guy has to basically pump, you know, 18 to 20%. Okay, if it doesn't, it means like a BTC, right, will have to pump 18 to 20% just for the you know, just for Tether USDT to be able to pump, right? But it means at the same time Tether will either stay sideways or drop lower down to like, you know, 1800 and all that good stuff, right? On a monthly basis, you can see like it doesn't look like it will pump 20% just like DOT. Okay, so Tether, even though the USDT chart looks good, the Tether BTC chart doesn't look that bullish, right? On the monthly basis, right? On the daily, you know, you could get a slight, you know, push back up. Once we take out the daily 21, we'll basically get a higher probability, you know, of going back up to 2,500, right there, right here. Okay, so and at the same time, even though it could potentially print a bull divergence right there, I don't like these bull divergences, right, when they too deep below the histogram. It only means correction and continuation. So I'm not saying Tether is bearish, but all I'm trying to basically show you is like alt USD could pump a lot, but you have to basically gauge it properly, understand exactly what's going on. You see what I'm saying? They will probably pump because of BTC pumping, right? Especially if BTC can take out 58, 57K and all that good stuff. Yes, alt could pump a lot, right? But it is going to be because of BTC. Unless alt BTC pumps and then the USDT dominance keeps on dropping, and at the same time the BTC dominance, you know, keeps on dropping. That is one scenario you basically got to keep an eye on too, right? So hopefully it makes sense, right? So I think that is it. I don't want to go too deep into altcoins and all that good stuff, because I know if I start talking about alt, we're gonna stay here talking about alt like for another 2 hours, right? So Alex already back to near the all-time high. Let's take a look at TUSDT. TUSDT still hasn't yet taken out the 0.06, so still looking good. Got rejected around the monthly 21. So already still looking pretty good. Nothing crazy. So STX, you know, another weekly breakout. So STX, I've been analyzing STX over the last few weeks, right? It looks like a 2 to 3x BTC leverage. Okay, so if BTC pumps 10%, it's like a pump 30%. So something you want to basically keep an eye on, you know, throughout the rest of the 4-year cycle, right? It is likely going to come down with the RSI right here, right? It is bullish, but expect the RSI to come back down, and then this cycle could do something like that before continuing. Okay. All right. So let me take a look at the chat room. I didn't mean to basically do a 50 minutes live stream. So we got Crypto P in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Quiet Cook. Cooking in the kitchen is saying, do you think 35K will be the floor for next bear market? I don't know. You just have to watch your quarterly 21, right? 10%, you know, 10%, right? Plus minus 10% around the quarterly 21. That's what you need to watch, because we will be getting what? A diminishing return, right? So we won't drop like 90%. You see this bull in this bull market, right? In this bear market, actually, right? The previous, we could call it previous bear market, right? Leroy. You can see like the previous bear market. I know bears won't like it, but I'm gonna call it the last bear market, right? So the previous bear market right here, we dropped 76, right? 72%, give or take, right? So, right, 77%, right? So the most bear were waiting for 80% drop. You know, it just, that's why I was trying to tell you guys, 10%, 15%, if you buying and holding for for the next 2 years or so, right? For the following 2 to 3 years and all that good stuff, you shouldn't wait for a 10% drop. I said it multiple times, right? So in the next bear market, I don't know. Okay, we'll just have to wait and see when we're going to get back to our quarterly 21. But if we get down to our quarterly 21 in the next bear market, don't overanalyze. Okay, just suck it up, buy the dips, accumulate heavy, 80% of your accumulation target, right? Your 80% of whatever you want to accumulate, at least accumulate 80% of it. Wait for it to break out above the monthly 21 and then go all in, and then just wait. It is super easy, guys. I mean, I wouldn't say super easy, but the way I'm basically describing it is super easy. Yes, it is not that easy to do it in real life, right? But we talk about it prior, okay, to BTC hitting the quarterly 21. Okay, so everyone should have been ready for the quarterly 21 in the last bear market. So in the next bear market, hopefully you guys going to be following the same trend. Hasta la vista. When are we going to dump? Hasta la vista is asking. I don't know. It could be tomorrow. It could be next month. It could be next year. But as of now, the trend is extremely, extremely bullish. All right. We just have to suck it up and say it as it is. Hey Joe, thanks a lot, man. I just don't have time to make those shirts and all that good stuff, but I will try. Most of the time, I'll try to focus on the chart and not focus on anything else, right? But I will try when I get some times, right? Yeah, Saka is looking good, man. It's on the 3D we already crossed. I don't think we talk about the 3D basis yet, but on the 3D we crossed positive. We talked about it in our last live stream. The key level to break out was the 50k area. If we take our 50k, we close a 3D candle, 2 3D candles above the yearly high, so that's extremely actually one candle, okay? So that's extremely bullish. So we'll see once we get up to like a 0.888 right here around like a 57 to 58k. If we get any shakeouts, we got on the daily basis, we got the daily 21, okay? So now you can see right here, after we hit like a 35k, consolidated upwardly, right, to the upside, and came back down, retest the daily 21 in late November right here, and then still pushed it upside. So are we going to be lagging some like that all the way up to like 58k for the next like 30 days? Possibly. I don't know what type of pattern it will print, but all I know is if we zoom out on a 3-month basis, it doesn't matter what it does as long as we can close above 46, 47, 46 down to 45k, before April. It doesn't matter. Whatever it does on a daily basis, hitting the daily 21, 3D 21, it really doesn't matter because BTC is crazy. It can drop 10-15% tomorrow, and everyone will be saying, haha, I told you we're going to drop down to 15K, and sucker going to reverse the following day. So stay in course, stay with the macro, stay with the 4-year cycle. You know, altcoins, okay, most of these alt will break out very, very soon, crazily to the upside once BTC touches like 69K. It doesn't have to break it, but once BTC touches like 69, some of these alt will break out, okay, a lot, okay. And once BTC breaks out above like a 900K, that's going to be the real mania, right? Because remember one thing, Ethereum did not break out above all-time high last bull market, right? Till BTC did what? BTC broke out above all-time high. So if we take a look at Ether was, I think, 50% below all-time high when BTC was breaking out above all-time high. If we take a look at Ether, November 2020, right here, right there, right there. So Ether closed around like a $600, and BTC was already above all-time high, and Ether was, you take a look at the in terms of percentage, right? Ether was around like a 56% below all-time high, right? And BTC was above, like, you know, above 20K nearly, right? And basically in January, even in January, BTC, you know, Ether was January 2021, okay? Ether was still around like a 48% below its previous all-time high, while BTC was around like a 50% above its previous all-time high. So you see the difference, okay? You see, that's why I'm saying some of these alt won't even pump even if BTC pumps like a 30, 40, 50% above all-time high. But it doesn't mean, you don't know which one will not pump. That's the thing. You cannot basically single out like one alt and say, okay, this one is not going to pump until BTC hits 100K. Okay, you just don't know. So the best thing to do is like just DCA, accumulate, reduce BTC exposure as we get above you know, all-time high, accumulate more alt, you know, 3 to 6 months. After that, pack up your bags regardless of, you know, how high those alt will pump, and basically you know, be ready for the next 98-99% drop. All right, so I'm just gonna cut it short, guys. It is almost 1 hour, and we'll try to go for another live stream if we hit 58K area over the next like couple weeks. We'll go for another live stream. All right, so thanks a lot for watching. Be safe out there. Be cautious with the bears. They got you, you know, all wrecked, waiting for 10K, 9K, 5K. So best thing to do now is just accumulate alt, be patient. Everything will be all right, and these suckers will also pump, right, just like BTC. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching.